folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Coming to the blog post I want to share with you. This is Buffer.com. They're making a huge announcement and promoting their new Buffer button and getting it out there with some of the major bloggers. And what Buffer.com basically does, it helps you schedule your retweets and reshares that you want to take and do when you see something interesting on the internet with your Twitter and your Facebook followers. Now, two things that I run into. If you're familiar with, there's certain times that are on social media, Twitter and Facebook, that are high times where you're going to get the most amount of response, you're going to get the most amount of retweets, where the most people are on Twitter. And if you search for that on Google, you'll find a set of different graphs that show you some of the places during the middle of the day that you can get the highest results on your Twitter feed for retweets and reshares, same with Facebook. So, you know, a lot of times I find something I want to share on the internet. I'll find an article or news, whatever, and I'll be like, boy, I want to share that with my stream. Unfortunately, sometimes I might find it in the middle of the night or super early in the morning where I'm not going to get quite the amount of retweets or quite the amount of audience exposure that I would normally want to take and get for something. The other issue that I run into is sometimes, like in the early mornings, I'll be reading through some of the tech trades, and I'll see a bunch of stuff like 4 or 5 items that I want to take and reshare. And the problem is if I jam all those out 4 or 5 in a row, people are like, "Oh, geez, you just dropped the reshare bomb on me there, Chris." And so this Buffer.com helps alleviate those two issues that you can have, where instead of having to drop 4 or 5 different things that you see at once, or hitting at different times of the day that are not going to get you the best results that you want for retweets and reshares, Buffer enables you to reshare from a website, but be able to schedule it. So let's take a look at how that works. It's a pretty neat service, and I've been using it for a while now. You can essentially take, and you can see here, I've got my 2 accounts. I got my Facebook account, I've got my Twitter account in here. There's some results of how many buffers that I've been sending. What's really neat is you can add team members to this, so that's very cool. If you're running a brand or something of that nature, and you've got multiple team members, you can control that. You can come in here and control the shortener you want to use, save you some of your details. And then you can see here, you can actually change days for your buffering pattern. You can actually set up different times that you want to take and do, and how you want your buffering to take place. So it's pretty cool. You can see here I've kind of put my stuff towards early morning and late at night, but not too late at night. I suppose if you want to spend more time adjusting that, you can do that. Right now they just feature Twitter and Facebook. I'm sure they'll add other different sites here as they come along. You can also adjust the timeline that you're working in. That obviously makes good sense, because if you're over in Japan, maybe you don't want to use the same times and you want to target times that work for you. So very smart in what Buffer's done here. Let's take a look at a few other things. Now this is my Buffer dashboard, if you will. If I want to take and write a post and send it out, if I just want to tweet something, I can use this for that purpose. I can post immediately if I want to take and post off a Buffer, or I can add to Buffer, which adds it into my schedule, and it basically puts them in order of how I add them and sends them out at appropriate times that are specified in my settings. Now you can see here that we've got one post of mine queued up. This is going to go out at 9:56, and it's a review of Path app. I can reorder these. If there was a list of these, I can do a reorder of the list. I can post this now if I want to. I can edit the post, and I can delete the post. So I have full control over what I set up in my Buffer and when I want to go out, etc., etc. Same thing with tweets. You can see the tweet here. This is one that's going out at 11:57 a.m. And what's also nice is I've got analytics. Let's take a look at what analytics give us. There's already some tweets that I put out using Buffer. And look at this one. This one went out at 10:20 a.m. It's got 581 clicks on it, 0 retweets, 0 mentions, 0 favorites. Here's one of Samsung Focus. It's got 4 clicks so far on it. So some pretty cool things that are going on with tracking the data, giving me analytics on what I want to take an experience here with using the service. There's some other goodies that are here. This is what's really cool about it. You can integrate this with your Chrome, where basically if you go to a website that doesn't have a Chrome button on it, you can take and install this extension in Chrome, and just by clicking the upper right hand corner where this will be, you can basically buffer it out to your website. You can do the same for Firefox, Safari. They've got a bunch of stuff in here. If you're inside twitter.com, this will help you buffer your retweets. Tell you how to do that. Google Reader. They have it for Buffer for Android, which is cool. Hopefully they'll have it for the iPhone soon. You can email stuff directly to Buffer if you want to take and do that. And here's what's cool, what they're launching and really promoting here is adding the Buffer blog to your website. And in doing that, you can take and install that, put it on your blog, your website. People can click the Buffer button, and of course it will install into their schedule. So beautiful thing here that you can take and do and take advantage of this Buffer button. I'd recommend that you add this to your website or blog. People are going to be using it, so you might as well give people a way to, further publish your stuff out and get it into their streams. The beautiful thing about this button too, and the good reason for installing it, is let's say that I see a page that I want to take and reshare on your website, and the beautiful part is if I hit the Buffer button, I only have to hit it once and it will automatically be going to my Facebook and Twitter, whereas opposed to if I were to hit the button, if I wanted to send those two feeds, I have to hit the button twice on your website for Facebook and Twitter individually, if that makes sense. So I think it's really smart to have that Buffer button added to your thing. They're doing a lot of promotion. Now, the one thing that Buffer does is they have a free account, and they have a monthly account, and they have a premium account. It's dependent upon how you want to take and do this. And this is probably a great way to run your brand for somebody who's doing something that's premium, or maybe you're doing something for your whoever you're administrating for. So different plans give you different promotions. They do have a 50% year off thing if you buy a year, so you end up saving some money. So you may want to check this out, but basically what you'll see is if you bring referrals into Buffer, you can end up getting more posts made available to you. Now let's take a look at how that works. If we go up in the referrals section here, you can see there's actually a link below that you can put onto your website or promotion or whatever you want to send out through Twitter, and whoever posts to Twitter, they'll actually give you extra posts, so that makes it work well for you also. If you invite your friends, of course you can integrate this with promoting on your Twitter, Facebook feeds, all that good stuff, and it just tells you it's sent, and you're pretty much done. So that's pretty much how the Buffer program app works. I'd highly recommend you give it a try and see. It's very nice. Normally too, like I say, if you install the button in Chrome, when I go to most people's websites, I like to send to Facebook and to Twitter. And so the beautiful part now is I don't have to click one button instead of two. So just that alone saves your people that are hopefully resharing your stuff a whole lot more work. So saves them from all that. Anyway, thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. There'll be some links to Buffer's PR thing that they're doing, their rollout of the Buffer button and promotion of it. That'll be going on, I believe, tomorrow. And you can take a look at their PR and their announcement and what's going on that way. And be sure to check into Buffer and give it a try. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Bye-bye.